Hello everyone.
Hello, everyone.
Okay.
Welcome to.
Salam alaikum to all.
Hello, everyone. I'm Danish. I'm
Hi.
Danish Majash from.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay.
So, dear everyone, welcome to this international workshop on UI Agrimetric for university rankings, and welcome to discussion. Welcome to UI Agrimetric for university rankings, and welcome to discussion session 1D about innovations for sustainable transportation management in universities. I am hearing my voice back. I don't know if you have a similar problem or not. An echo of my voice. I am hearing my voice back. I don't know if you have a problem or not. However, I will try to start this session and the discussion. I am going to be the chair of this session now. And please let me warmly welcome all the speakers and presenters today. Professor Fatur Rokman from Indonesia, from Universitas Negeri Semarang. Dr. Margarita Redina, representative of the rector of People's Friendship University of Russia, IWGM. And also Mr. Roberto Battistini, representative of the rector at the University of Bologna, Università di Bologna in Italy. And I would like to thank in advance for your presentations and also for the videos that you sent to Greenmetric and the videos which I hope everyone had the chance to see already, or the most of us at least had the chance to see already. I also would like to welcome my co-chair, Unaidi from UI Greenmetric. And I hope you enjoy your time during the workshop on UI Greenmetric for university rankings, and you have a useful time spent here. And I would like to ask, after these introductory words, Professor Fatur Rahman from from Universitas Negeri Semarang in Indonesia to make a summary of his presentation in about 4 minutes if possible, and then we will have the chance to discuss all questions that may arise. In the meantime, please feel free to post questions on in the chat section of Zoom, and please feel free also to post questions on the YouTube channel. Thank you. Free also to post questions on the YouTube. Professor Satu Rokman, Director of Universitas Negeri Semarang. Are you here?
Even with echoes effect, I can hear you.
Thank you for. Maybe Professor Semarang, Professor Rokman had some technical issues. I don't know. If Professor Rokman is not available now, I would suggest, if you agree, to hear a summary of the presentation of Ms. Margarita Redina, Dr. Margarita Redina, from IWGM University in Russia, and we will come back to the presentation of Professor Rokman later, hopefully. Dr. Redina, are you available? Maybe she's also still has some technical issues. So why don't we start then from in a backward way? So if I am not mistaken, Mr. Roberto Battistini is here. And he is the representative director of the University of Bologna in Italy. Since 2016, he is in charge as mobility manager at the University of Bologna, and he works on MAAS, Infrastructures for Sustainable Transportation, and experimental technological design for mobility. As a civic engineer, he has been consultant for the city of Bologna on mobility and urban transportation, and had a specialization degree on sustainability and urban regeneration at the Department of Architecture. He is attending a PhD course at Department of Civil, Chemical, Environmental, and Materials Engineering. Andrea Braschi is head of the Construction and Sustainable Division at the University of Bologna. And a civil engineer, he is a member of the Italian University Network of Sustainable Development. And Mr. Branchi is the technical expert for construction and mobility at the National Conference of the Directors General of Italian Universities. I don't know if you will talk together with Mr. Braschi, or you have a separate presentation. However, welcome, Mr. Battistini, and I would kindly like to ask you to present your presentation, or
Okay.
maybe within like 4 minutes, if possible.
Yes, it's my part. Okay, and I have 3 minutes exactly. I have 3 minutes about
3 or 4 minutes, if possible.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you. I will try to be briefly and quickly. And my name is Roberto Battistini, as just introduced me, and I would like to thanks for my participation at the event, and I would like to start my presentation about my works with the core of the problem that I've seen. So the underline the concept of sustainable mobility. I think that all is rooted in the concept of urban divide. Well, urban divide is as Plato said many centuries ago. When we have a city, we have two cities in real. This is split into cities: the city of the rich and the city of the poor. Well, this gap creates social instability, economic cost for all the population, and is all rooted in the concept of the urban modern development. Well, I think that public transportation in general, is a very relevant driving force for such enduring the 19th century for such economic development. But it's also bringing also negative effects as pollution or congestion, accident, and many situations negative such that. But why? The reason, I think, is connected in the traditional approach to planning in transportation. The traditional approach was based upon an up-bottom approach and not help to have a contact with the population and with the different social level of the society. That is meaning that sustainable mobility is playing now a very relevant role in the concept that I said before of the urban divide, because it started on the plan based upon a bottom-up process. This bottom-up process permits to have an engagement of population and overcome the problem that we have in social inequality and similar problems. Well, as a public administration and as a supporting in governance for strategy in mobility, sustainable mobility, I found that it's very important to define a set of indicators to evaluate the process toward sustainability. And the indicator that I found very useful to identify the trend or evolution of sustainable mobility is modal share. Modal share is very easy by the point of view, but is more complex by another. It's easy because it's expressed basically the concept of how you move, how you choose your transportation means. But for real, inside it, there is a lot of variables that are not only connected to the technical dimension of transportation, but also on psychology, when we talk about behavior, attitude, and similar phenomena, and even the economic development. So, for real, modal share is a very complex indicator. Well, to establish a correct methodology to define a modal share for university campuses, we have defined an integrated methodology. Well, this integrated methodology is based from one side, from a typical survey online, but we also have to remember that when we talk about the questionnaire or similar approach, we've encountered the problem of reliability. In particular, the reliability of a survey online is based upon the typical social psychology and social distortion that we introduce, that the compiler introduce when apply on the system. In parallel to establish a more correct approach, we have in parallel developed a sort of observation in nature. Observation in nature say that we create a checklist upon the most common issue and items for transportation, and we construct a checklist placed in the hand of specialized technique that work on fields. Directly, they can observe how many vehicles pass on a cycle path or how many cars enter in a parking lot or similar. This combined approach permitted us to establish exactly the more appropriate modal share. Modal share has been so developed in 2 years, 2017 and 2018. And the modal share substantially is very interesting because in 1917, we have about 40,000 compilers. And we have defined the trip chain, we have defined the most typical approach, and it's interesting to see that in the majority of population, of university population, who have to travel on a monomodal approach against the minority that work on that moved through multimodal approach. And finally, it is fast to establish that in 1917, the modal share was typically very car-oriented. So we have more than 10% of users that use a car, and followed by 7% for buses and 10% for bicycle. Well, awareness of this condition is to orient a real transition toward a sustainable approach. We have developed some measure, practical measure, operative measure, and basically they was oriented on buses and bicycle. And on bicycle is interesting because we have worked to establish and to empower the image of bicycle as a real commuter instrument to make travel, not only a not vehicle. It was a real vehicle. This concept has been passed, and we have an example developed a project that is called Alma Bike. In Alma Bike, we developed it together with students through a call. We have developed a connected bike that are being shared with students. And this connected bike, even upgraded with a smart sensor pack to detect pollution and environmental parameters, is being used to enforce and to endorse the image of bicycle. In parallel, we have developed agreement with a cycle station to permit to have a real intermodality and integration in transportation, different transportation means. Another measure that we have made was co-design with municipality of Bologna, the cycle path that connect the very center of the city with the peripheral area. Is interesting to see that the co-design has been have good results, and it permits to have a more accessibility for cyclists. Finally, we made also an agreement with a public transportation company to permit to have a subsidized ticket for students. All this action has bring. Someone has asked me, sorry, to handle the slide. I don't think that I can't. Okay, I can move. I wish to share the image, but I prefer to talk directly. That's the time is very limited. And finally, the modal share has been defined for 1918, and it is a great surprise, because for first we have defined that the users, the response we have recovered is very high, because from the 40,000 on 2017 we passed to about 10,000 response. In parallel, there's been a relevant growth of the cycle component, and we are reached the level of 24% of usage of bicycle. Also, the buses is increasing in 14% from the start of 10. So I think that it is very important to define the connection between before and after the application of measure as a consequence that we have determined. Finally, I end my presentation, talk about the next level of the research. When I talk about next level, I can't start talking about COVID-19 spread out, because it's absolutely a strong force that have changed our habits, and it have a disrupting effect on supply chain and also on transportation system. Data generation from student. Any person, any unit of people in university must be a data generator, and also to start studying new kind of road design. It is important to make a reflection about it, because road design in general bring a lot of time and a lot of money to realize, but we need to search a more economic approach and also a more quick approach. One of them is the emergency cycle path, is substantially the traditional lane or reserved bus lane that be transformed in cycle path in dynamic in real time through a sensor system, and maybe applied just to cover the lack of transportation that we have during COVID-19 and lockdown phases. I think also that this is interesting. In my final slide, if someone can read directly by the server, you can find that I have made an analysis on a future scenario, and the future scenario is based upon how the users have responded on the post-lockdown phases. Just last slide exactly, and it's easy to see that the majority of people that have answered have explained that they don't want to change the transportation system, but but remain on the previous system used. The percent of the people that want to change, that explained yes, I change, is about 30%. That I see that they have a preference for individual transportation means, and in particular car. This is a critical approach, because if we don't make the endorsement of sustainable mobility, a strong endorsement, we have to risk a pollutant crisis and an environmental crisis because the use of the car is obviously very, very pollutant. So I think that in the last slide you can it is possible to see the final evaluation that I made. Yes, before. Yes, this one. And it's easy to see how the preference of the people that say yes is oriented, as I said, on the car. So we have to act exactly on this field in the next level of the research and to try instrument and evaluation about how to avoid a critical situation. I thank you all. I try to stay in my limited time. And if you have any question, please write on the chat and I will answer directly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear Dr. Battistini, for making the summary of the presentation and for the interesting remarks on the initiatives at the University of Bologna. And thank you also for the interesting video. It was really very nice to see some nice streets and pictures from Bologna and from the University of Bologna. So thank you very much. I find it very interesting to make these surveys that measure the use of different types of transportation by university citizens, let that be students or staff or academic or any kind of staff, and to see their habits, and to act also based on.
Sorry if I interrupt. Just one moment. I don't hear perfectly. So if you can't or speak more or write on the chat as you prefer.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know if you hear me better now.
It was very, very low, the voice. Sorry.
I am very sorry about this technical issue. Is it better now?
Yes. I hear very well.
Okay, I will put the mic here.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to say is that I find it very, very interesting and very useful to use this service to measure university citizens' habits of using different kinds of transportation and the amount of the use of the vehicles, of the different vehicles, which is certainly a very good practice that should be applied in all universities and institutions dealing with sustainable transportation. At my university as well, there has been some similar surveys, so that's why I was very happy also to hear about that that initiative at the University of Bologna too, and to see some percentages in this relation. I don't know if anyone has any question to Dr. Battistini and to as regards to their aims and initiatives and the presentation on transportation. If not, you can surely leave your questions that might come up in the comment section, in the chat section, on Zoom, or even on YouTube, live channel on YouTube. Otherwise, I would like to thank very much Dr. Battistini for the presentation.
Thank you.
The very interesting information. And if I'm not mistaken, we have another speaker available now from IWGM University in Russia, from People's Friendship University of Russia.
Yes, hello, dear colleagues. Yes, I'm here.
And Dr. Margarita Redina.
Sorry, I'm a little too late. We have a lecture at the same time. We have a classes right now.
Thank you
was
very
necessary
much
to jump between. Sorry.
No, thank you very much for being here.
Yes, I'm really sorry that I didn't hear your presentation before. Yeah. So can I present my material? Yes.
Yes, if you can. Thank you very much. In 4 or 5 minutes, if possible, so that if any question comes up, it could be still asked. like a summary of your presentation. Thank you very much.
So, yes, I present my material. I present our experience in change the situation with transportation in our university. So generally, our main problem is not the problem of the university itself, but it is a problem of the city traffic. Yes, we can understand in the infrastructure of the city, and sometimes it is just very difficult to reorganize the situation, to improve the situation. So an experience of our university. We are located in Moscow. Our campus is near to a big green zone in the city. But the main source of environment pollution pressure is strong traffic, virtually 24 hours every day. And that is why one of the biggest problem for us is to improve the situation with transportation. But all the transport flows around us. This is a city transport, private transport, transport. But these are not cars or something else. This is not transport of our staff and our students. In any case, we have to think and we have to try to solve this problem, and we tried to do it really. The campus was built in 60s, virtually 60 years ago, and since that time, all the infrastructure around us changed a little, but in any case, we have every day more and more cars, buses, and so on. That's why it's necessary to try to decide what do we have to do together with our government of Moscow. What did we done? What can we show? Here you see the picture about the modeling of transport load on our campus. And it's possible to see that we have a great red zone. This red zone take of our campus, and really the picture is not so the situation is not so quotable. So for the modeling, we tried to organize this study, and you see that we take into account results of the vehicles, results of sampling in campus. Now we have our own system of environmental monitoring with 4,000 measurements today on the project on the construction of new metro station. And generally, our comparison of the state of our campus now, according to our monitoring data, and what can we expect in the future when the metro station will be created finally. So some results. You see here the results of mercury dioxide in our campus. And to create these pictures, to create and using this approach, you see we have a great our campus. Generally, you see here only models for 2 substances, but in reality, we have these models for many pollutants, for many substances, and every time
I don't know if maybe the voice has been muted.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, now it's perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
Two results of modeling. These are results of model of standard state models. In comparison with measurement results, generally you see we have some differences, and our monitoring experience shows that probably the problem is not so huge. But in reality, even such models show us that we have to do something and we have to improve the situation with transport. Another one approach, another one model here is the concentration of persistent organic pollutants in our soils, in our campus, and in the territory to the north of our campus in the green zone. It's possible to see we have quite big soils are virtually saturated with persistent pollutants. And this is one position again to show that the situation is to be improved. And our assessment and our modeling shows that some problems can be solved. And one of these decisions is the new metro station. Our management of the university the districts around us, we will have our own metro station near to our university, very close to our university, maybe 50 or 100 meters. In our opinion, this must help us to improve the situation with public transport. Probably the private transport will be also reduced. Of course, this is not absolutely decision, and of course, this will help us not to prevent big traffic flows. On the small streets around, it will be possible to reduce the transport flows. So it's possible to say that the modeling shows us the necessity of the improvements. Of course, our situation is probably not the worst in Moscow, but some improvements are really necessary. And if we see the 3 times higher concentrations in models, concentrations over the maximum permissible level, this shows that we need to develop some projects for the improvements. So we hope that the new station will help us, and probably the situation in campus will be more comfortable for us and for our students and staff. So thank you. That's
Dear Ms. Margarita Redina, thank you very much for this summary of your presentation, and also for all the interesting information that you shared with us. Surely Moscow and the traffic in Moscow must be very huge, so the local characteristics are always important to know when we talk about transportation and sustainable solutions for solving transportation problems and to move towards sustainable transportation. So thank you very much. I don't know if anyone has any question about this presentation that would like to ask to Dr. Margarita Redina, Dr. Redina from the IWGM University, about transport pressure management and efficient transportation management. If not, again, you have the possibility to do so.
Maybe I have a question, if I can.
Okay. Sure.
Yes, Ben, I've been very interested by the presentation about Moscow situation of transportation, and I wish to ask if there is an idea or a concept of cooperation between municipality and university. So how it can be drawn down and in what fields can interest, if it's possible to know.
Oleg, sorry, some failures again. Could not hear your question. Sorry.
Yes. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Yes, now perfect. Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Yes.
I thank you. So also, I was very surprised and interested by your presentation about Moscow situation, and I wish to ask you if you have just an idea or a concept of cooperation between the municipality and the university. How can be declined? How can be output and what can be drawn down if a matters of flow of vehicles? So we have to imagine a different zone, an example, a super block concept like Barcelona, or do you think, so you think about urbanism interaction or traffic action? What kind of cooperation can you see in the horizon of the event that you have described? Is it clear?
I will try to answer. I hope that I have understood the main.
Yes, I can. If you want, I can wrote. I try to write in the chat, and you see the question directly in the chat if you prefer. Okay.
From
So maybe the question will then arrive in writing, either in the chat section or privately, directly to Dr. Redina.
Yes, sorry. So again, some breaks. Do you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Yes, thank you for your question. I hope I can try to answer. Of course, we work with municipalities. Of course, we work with population around our campus, and we work also with Moscow government. We try to improve the situation. Yeah. But, our campus is not so large, and we have a lot of problems because it is really built into the city infrastructure. And we are surrounded. We have a road, so it's possible to speak with people. It's possible to ask them, please use only public transport, but it cannot work absolutely. So that's why we have to create some new decisions, and we have to suggest some changes. But we cannot manage this situation absolutely.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Thank you for the question and thank you for the answer. I would kind of like to ask if Professor Rockman is here from the university in Indonesia.
I have a question.
Oh, okay. Please,
Good afternoon. I would like to thank Dr. Margareta for valuable presentation. And I want to ask about the environmental monitoring system. What are the main components of this system? What are the variables that can be monitored through this system? I am Ayman Al-Alawin from Al-Balqa Applied University, Jordan.
Okay. Well, we have a monitoring system since 2016. We have in our campus and in the park near to us 33 monitoring points. It's quite regular network of monitoring, and we control soil quality with hydrocarbons, pollution with hydrocarbons, pollution with heavy metals. We have control of atmospheric air, main pollutants in the city. And we have monitoring of plants. So generally, it would be interesting to include some things else, like animal monitoring, like probably water monitoring, but it is only a future. Currently, we work on the creation of information system for data streaming and data processing. But now it is only work with our hands, if it's possible to say. So we collect data, we process data, but we do not use for these purposes, not yet use for these purposes, the information system. We try to create.
Спасибо огромное. No, I think in your university you have to support the proverb in Russian. Много ходить, долго жить.
Colleague, sorry, again problems with sound. I don't hear you.
I think in Russian language they have a Paslov, много ходить, долго жить. I think this proverb must be a title in your university.
Dear colleagues, sorry, I cannot hear you. Problems with connection, no sound.
Спасибо огромное за ответ. Thank you for your answer.
Пожалуйста. Хорошо, на здоровье.
Thanks a lot.
Well, thank you very much for the question and for the answers as well, and also for the interesting presentation. And I think we still have like 5-6 minutes from this session. So I don't know if Professor Rockman from UNES University in Indonesia is available here, or unfortunately maybe he could not connect and be with us today. If not, I would also like to say that this presentation on IWGM University's management models of transport and transportation management was really interesting, and this new metro station is hopefully it is going to be very helpful in going in a even more sustainable direction, due to the fact that many of those who now use cars or other kinds of vehicles will turn to the metro and thus contribute to sustainable transportation. So as I hear, unfortunately, Professor Fatur Rockman, director of UNES University, the Universitas Negeri Semarang in Indonesia, could not attend our session, but you surely have the chance to see his presentation on the conference website, even his video or video presentation or the PowerPoint presentation. So please feel free to do so. And otherwise, I would like to call your attention to the next sessions, starting in 10 minutes from now. about very interesting topics, innovations in education and research in sustainable development, or session 2B, which is about university impact on the sustainability of urban and rural communities. Or you can also choose session 2C, which is innovations for biodiversity conservation in universities. 2D, about innovations in waste management in universities. Please feel free to join these sessions and also to join tomorrow's sessions. You can find the program also on the conference website. So with this, if you do not have any other questions or remarks or comments, I would like to thank you very much for your attendance. I would like to thank once again for the speakers, for the interesting information they shared with us, and also for those who, also to the participants for their interesting questions and remarks. And I wish you a good continuation of the conference and of the day. If there is no other question that comes up to anyone.
So can we start it?
Yeah. Hello?
Hey, thank you. Good morning and good afternoon and good night for everybody. We have people from the whole world. I will chair this session that will focus on solid waste management on universities. My name is Tadeu Malheiros. I'm from the professor at the University of São Paulo in Brazil. And I also have with me three colleagues. Can you also please, I just need the names. Just a second. Just a second. I don't have the names in my screen. I'm sorry. For the GreenMed Secretariat, can you help me with the screen? I just need the names of my co-chair and my presenters for today. Can you bring it to the... No, that's good. Now it's okay. Sorry for everybody. So again, I would like to welcome our speakers with our focus on waste management in universities. I would like also to thank my co-chair, Ms. Beatriz Perche from the University of Pécs in Hungary. I'm sorry if I'm saying the wrong way, the names. They are quite different in all these different languages. So I'm sorry, Ms. Beatriz. And for our speakers, we have today a colleague from the Wageningen University in Netherlands, is Ms. Erna Matters. She works with social responsibility at the university, and since 2014, she's from background from rural sociology, and she's also, and that's interesting, her presentation, she has experience with environment care and occupational health. We also have Dr. Jamshid Iqbal from the Institute of Business Management in Pakistan. He has carried out his PhD in environmental science in specific with solid waste management. He worked with, the title was Treatment and Nutrient Recovery of Landfills, Leachate, Algae, and Duckweed. With a lot of experience in teaching, research, and working in industry. For this, I would like, we have two speakers for this session. I was allowed to give some more minutes to Ms. Erna and Dr. Jamshid. So I will give the floor to Ms. Erna, and I will give you 10 minutes that you explain about the topic, and the video and the PPT, they are available at the internet. So I'm sure everybody watched it yesterday and today before this event. So after you make this presentation of 10 minutes, then we also make the presentation for Dr. Jamshid, 10 minutes also, and then we open for discussion. Be welcome. I thank my presenters for this session and also the opportunity to integrate and learn with you. So please, Ms. Erna Matters. So, Ms. Erna. Again, we may need the help from the Green Med Secretariat. Beatriz, is Erna with us? Do you know?
I am checking the participants. I cannot see her. Can you hear me? Sorry. You can hear me. I cannot see her among the participants.
Oh, that's a pity. What happened? It's always hard, all these internet connections. Sometimes they play a trick with us. Maybe we can rearrange the order.
Yes, maybe we should try that and try to reach Ms. Matters.
Yes, then if Dr. Jamshid Iqbal is here with us also, then we can start with you if you agree. And
Can they be in another room?
It's saying it's connecting with Dr. Jamshid with my computer here, so. So.
Yes, I can see him among the participants.
He's still connecting. He's not here also, is it? So it's all part of this learning process. We are going with this COVID-19 and this all on distance events. So it's a learning process.
It is. I think it came very suddenly, so we have to get adapted to it as much as we can.
It's a lot of links. Yeah. I got a little bit when I was checking everything, so I also got a little bit lost in all these programs. So I think it's nice, but it's always, for us, it's new. So it took me some time to understand the logistic all behind it.
Yes, that's absolutely true.
In the beginning of October, we did the national event here in Brazil. I was with the coordination. It was really hard. It's a challenge to bring everybody, all these rooms. So it was very hard. So I can imagine here with all these people from different countries, it's much more difficult. And it was here with everybody speaking the same language in the Brazilian context. Okay.
Now I also had some technical issues. So actually, I'm in this room twice. So once with my name without a camera, but there I can speak. And once on a mobile phone where you can see me, but you can't hear me there. So.
Okay, they are contacting Dr. Jamshid. It's always hard, these different names for me both.
Absolutely true. And until that, I would also like to welcome all the participants from all around the world on behalf of the University of Pécs in Hungary, when there is a great and very innovative program called Green University. And now I am representing that project. And we are also trying to have as many programs as we can in connection with this really relevant topic. And that's how I can be here.
We had several students, undergraduate students here from the University of São Paulo that did a sandwich program abroad in Hungary. I don't know if it was with your university. I don't remember the name of the university, but we had many of them going and they loved it. It was very nice. Not only the landscape that's quite beautiful, also all the country, the history behind it, but also the quality in teaching and all the programs you have at the universities. But they loved it.
I'm very glad to hear that. Thank you.
Especially for us here in Brazil, it's quite different in terms, culturally speaking, all the construction, history behind it. It's very different for us also. So it adds a lot, culturally speaking.
Yes, that's right.
So, Beatriz, what should we do? We don't have our two presenters, so maybe we give 2 more minutes up to past. In my case, 10, but it's 4:00 p.m. And then maybe we can stop it. That's a pity.
Yes, it is. I don't know if we can play the video maybe that they shared. If maybe the administration room knows more about that.
Mm-hmm. That could be interesting. We can. I have them here. At least one of the videos. Give me just 1 second. I have it here.
Thank you.
Just 1 second. I have Anna's video.
Mm-hmm.
That's 11 minutes. Just a second. Yeah, but for Jamshid, I don't have his. He has a PowerPoint presentation, but for Anna, let me see. That's a good idea. I'll share it. So just a second.
Yes, and she's from the Netherlands. She's from the Netherlands, Wageningen University and Research.
So give me 1 second if I can share it. Let's see if it's here. Let's see which one. Beatriz, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see it.
I will play it and let's see if the sound also goes all together.
Okay.
Is it working, Beatriz?
It is working,
the sound?
But I can't hear the sound. I can see the video but can't hear the sound.
Let me see, how do I? For the Google Meet, we have one place where we can share the sound also. But wait, let's see. Let's see, just a second. Maybe we need the Green Metric Secretariat also to help us with this. Let's see. I have here the Google Chrome I can share and also the screen, but the sound, they don't say anything here. Okay.
Professor Ricardo.
Oh, sorry. Yes, sorry.
Excuse me. May I ask you to remove your headset?
Sorry, a little bit louder. I can't hear you, sorry.
Excuse me. I speak louder then. May I ask you to remove your headset from your computer? It seems it caused mute your speaker, and we cannot hear the voice of the video. May I ask you to remove your headset from your computer? After removing your headset, I think we can hear the voice of the video.
And the voice will come from outside, is it? That you are suggesting that I play it outside and the the microphone of the computer will capture it, is it?
I think, yeah.
There is one way that it goes directly, because the computer is normally prepared for avoiding the voice from the sounds that come from outside. There should be one way to share the sound also. Instead of this way from outside, but I can do it, but let's see. Just a second. Beatriz, then you help me, okay?
Okay.
Just
I can see the video.
Okay, let's
there was
some
sound.
Okay, I will share the sound also.
Something,
it's
but
too low, isn't it?
Sorry?
It's too low, the sound, or you can hear it?
Yes, very loud. No, not loud, very silent.
Yeah, yes, it's very low. Sorry.
Low, yeah.
Yeah, it's yesterday I heard the video and the sound was very low. So I'm almost in the maximum here. Okay, so that's a pity. I cannot share this. There should be one way. Maybe the secretariat can share it with us. Good.
There it is. Thank you very much.
Welcome to this presentation in the Green Metrics session on innovations in waste management. My name is Erna Maters and I'm working as a policy officer on social responsibility and sustainability at the Facility Services Department of Wageningen University and Research, WUR in short. There are many stories to tell about waste at WUR. These stories will not fit in a 12-minute talk, of course, but you can read a little bit more about it in our paper for this workshop. In the coming 10 minutes, I will tell you more about waste at WUR, on Wageningen campus in specific. Then I'll move on to the transition from waste to resources. Thirdly, I will discuss WUR's vision on circular economy. But first, a short introduction of Wageningen University and research. WUR is located in the Netherlands, in Europe. Wageningen University is one of the 12 universities in the Netherlands, and I'm proud to say that 3 of them did reach the top 10 in the Green Metric ranking of 2019. Leiden University and the University of Groningen on a shared 7th place. Wageningen University Research did reach number 1 in 2019 for the 3rd year in a row. Dutch universities did score well on the topic waste in the Green Metric ranking. As the Netherlands is a small country, there's simply not much room for waste. That might be a reason for the strict government regulations on waste management and the ambition to be completely circular by 2050. And that reflects on the waste policies of the Dutch universities. On the right side of this slide, you see our organization chart. It shows that WUR consists of 2 parts: Wageningen University in green for education and scientific research, and Wageningen Research in light blue for the more applied types of research. Parts of both organizations work together in sciences groups. The university and parts of Wageningen Research are situated on campus in Wageningen. Some parts are located elsewhere, amongst others in Lelystad, Leeuwarden, IJmuiden, Den Helder, and The Hague. About waste. Imagine something heavy, like an elephant. An African elephant weighs on average 6,000 kilograms, like this one. 241 elephants, that's the equivalent of all the waste that was removed from Wageningen campus in 2019. That's nearly 1.5 million kilograms of waste. Including the locations outside Wageningen, 2.5 million kilograms of waste was collected. That's even more elephants. There are at least 15 different waste flows on campus. The graph shows the percentages of the largest waste flows. On Wageningen campus, 61% of the waste is separated. For WUR as a whole, that percentage is 65%. Up to 2020, WUR did follow the Lansing's ladder for waste hierarchy. In this approach, priority is given to the most sustainable and environmentally friendly processing methods. In the last 10 years, emphasis was put on waste separation and good waste management, including responsible removal and processing through the waste companies that were contracted. For 5 waste flows, central waste collection bins are placed within and outside buildings: paper, plastics, organic waste, paper coffee cups, and other waste. Bins are placed on strategic spots where the waste is. Paper bins near the printing facilities and organic waste bins at spots where people have their lunch. A student did a study on litter on the campus, and she asked, "We do separate our waste inside the buildings. Why aren't there separate waste bins outside?" So now, separate bins for plastic, green waste and other waste are placed in the outside areas on campus. Other waste flows are separated behind the scenes. For example, hazardous waste from the laboratories, garden waste from the campus grounds, batteries, IT material, etc. In educational buildings, a waste separation system is implemented. An external service provider is contracted for the collection of internal waste. An employee from EcoSmart will collect and weigh the waste. As waste is weighed, it's possible to monitor the amounts of waste generated. All waste is collected and removed through specialized companies. Waste that is separated at the source, within WUR, will be recycled. Parts of the waste that exits the campus as other waste will be recycled afterwards, off campus. The remaining part will be incinerated with energy recovery. Last year, 48% of the waste was recycled, and 74% was used for other useful applications as thermal recycling and incineration with energy recovery. The picture shows that the focus is on recycling and other useful applications and less on reduction and reuse. At the moment, there is no proper way of monitoring the effects of waste prevention and reuse of materials, and that will change. Circularity is a research and education theme within WUR. WUR's waste management policy and practices are largely in order. However, the focus is still on recycling and recovery. The next step is obvious, a shift from waste management to resource management. First steps are already taken. Circularity is part of the procurement policy with the ambition to push supply chains to be transparent, sustainable, circular, and free from modern slavery. An example is the procurement tender for toilet paper and paper towels. A circular cradle-to-cradle toilet hygiene concept was chosen. In this concept, waste paper is used as a resource for new hygienic paper and old dispensers as a resource for new sanitary paper dispensers. In preparation of a new tender for the waste removal services, a group of students carried out a product flow analysis. A product flow analysis maps out all material goods and their flows, from procurement through disposal. The students did this as part of their thesis. All procurement orders of 2017 were analyzed. These product flows were compared with the flows of materials that exit the campus as waste. The product flow analysis did provide a better insight into the types of products and resources used within WER and did contribute to the development of a strategy on circularity. In 2018, WER started working on a new strategy on resource flows and waste management. Recently, our executive board ratified the circular economy policy with a vision and strategy. Aim is to achieve a 50% reduction in the use of resources in 2030. This ambition follows the circular economy policy launched by the Dutch government. A circular economy approach aims at prevention and reduction of use of raw materials. Basically, it is a shift from waste management to resource management, of which waste management is a part. This figure shows the relation between the original waste hierarchy on the right and the strategies on the circularity ladder on the left. In the transition from a linear to a circular economy, emphasis is put on smarter use of products and extending lifespan of products and parts. This will lead to a reduction of resources used. Simply said, the waste hierarchy expanded with 8 extra steps. Emphasis is put on reduction and reuse. Recycling and recovery still remain, but are the lower steps on the ladder. Landfilling is crossed out, as this will not be an option. Strategies for the use of products are longer use and reuse of products that are already present. Think of using furniture longer or use of doors or toilets from torn down buildings. Closing the circle for new products. The amount of material used in a product should be equal to the amount of material that can be recovered for new uses. And also other circular possibilities are explored. For example, sharing products, multifunctional products, or abandoning the use of products altogether. I'm going to highlight 4 elements of the implementation plan. We will buy fewer products and making smarter use of products by extending their lifespan and reusing products within WER or elsewhere. To make reuse possible, it is necessary to keep track on resources. A product and resource monitoring system will be implemented in addition to the current waste monitoring system. New contracts with suppliers of the different product groups will be based on circularity strategies. The current waste contracts will be replaced by a raw materials contract. Suppliers are experts on circularity in their field. WER will ask them to help find solutions to implement the circular economy policy. Also, the involvement of students and staff and use of our own scientific expertise is crucial. I already mentioned the use of the circular cradle-to-cradle toilet hygiene concept. The next step to make this cycle more circular was taken earlier this year. An agreement was signed between WER's Facilities and Services Department and 3 companies to recycle all used paper locally and sustainably. Along with the office paper waste flows, used paper cups and paper towels will be transported to a company that will repurpose the paper fibers as a source for towels and toilet paper. To close the cycle, this hygienic paper will be supplied to WER. WER's vision on circularity marks a transition from a waste management policy to a circular economy policy. More can be done to go higher up the circularity ladder by focusing more on prevention and reuse. It is clear that reducing and reusing resources or products will have the highest impact in diminishing the environmental pressure of waste. So what do we see as our challenges? Well, we have to create circularity awareness of everyone, and especially from our staff and students. We have to find ways to use our own expertise on circular economy. Also, new forms of partnerships are needed to team up with circular companies and suppliers and organizations. And how to cope with the uncertainty of the COVID-19 crisis. What will be the consequences for the circular economy? The switch from thinking in terms of waste and recycling towards looking at raw materials and products is a challenging one. We are aware that this transition will not happen automatically. It's a big step. The switch to circularity will have consequences for everyone in our organization. It's a new way of looking at incoming products and the way its resources are used again and again, and not ending up as waste. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you for the presentation in this way. I think you're...
Go on, Beatrice, please. Sorry.
No, I just tried to say that I could see Dr. Jamshid Iqbal. I think he's connected to us, if I'm right.
Yes, I am connected. Dr. Jamshid Iqbal.
We are glad to hear you.
Thank you. Actually, here is some connectivity problem with me here. So I'm getting some difficulty.
Okay, be welcome with us, Dr. Jamshid. We still have 10 more minutes, no problem. I will give you the floor. If you could, in these 10 minutes, make a explanation of the theme you brought for us, of this zero waste. That's thanks a lot.
Yeah, I can start here. I am Dr. Jamshid Iqbal. If you can hear me, actually, I have told that here is some internet connectivity problem with me, so there may be some voice issues. So please bear that. So the title of my presentation is Best Practices of Solid Waste Management at Institute of Business Management, Karachi. So I am here on behalf of the Department of Environment and Energy Management, Institute of Business Management, Karachi. So actually, what is the problem? The problem is, so here are the contents of my study, introduction, methodology, existing system of solid waste management at the Institute of Business Management, and which includes the solid waste collection, transportation, and disposal. And after that, I have discussed briefly the quantity of the waste generated from the IWGM and the economic analysis of the solid waste at the Institute. And at the end, the composting potential of the solid waste is discussed briefly here. Next slide. Okay. So the sustainable management of the solid waste from the educational institutes is one of the major challenges, particularly in our country here in Pakistan. It is because there are a lot of legislative and legal requirements related to the waste management, but there is no explicit environmental standard available for the institutional waste management in Pakistan. So this is the reason that that the institutions are managing their solid waste by their own. Actually, the city municipal authorities in the respective cities where the institute is located, the city municipal authorities are actually responsible for the management of the overall management of the solid waste. I mean, the collection of the waste, the transportation of waste, and the final disposal is the responsibility of the city municipal authorities of the respective city. Next slide, please. Okay. The number of higher education institutes in Pakistan is rapidly increasing with the increase in population. Currently, according to the Environmental Protection Agency of the Pakistan, approximately 300 tons of the solid waste is generated from the higher education institutes. And this calculation is based on the per capita per day national waste generation, which is 0.45 kg in Pakistan. So this is the huge amount. This is actually the 2.5% of the total waste generated in the country, which is generated from the only from the educational institutes. So, as I have already told, that the municipal authorities are responsible for the waste management from the institutes. However, the collection and interim storage of the solid waste is sole responsibility of the respective higher education institutes. Next slide, please. Next, please. I've got some problem. Okay, so this study basically is based on the primary and secondary data sources. For the primary data, we have visited all the facilities of the Institute of Business Management, and on the daily basis, we collected the solid waste from all the facilities, and the collected waste was transported to the existing solid waste facility of the Institute. At this facility, we segregated the different components of the waste, such as plastic, metals, and cardboards, etc. And after that, we have weighed all the segregated components of the waste, and actually the purpose was to calculate the economic potential of the waste generated from the institute. So this is brief about the methodology, and at the end we calculated the composting potential of the waste, which is currently going on at the institute. So if we talk about the preferred food serving dishes at the Institute of Business Management cafeteria. So currently, the paper plates are the most commonly used, which is nearly 30%. So we have recommended through this study that this practice should be need to be modified. Instead of the disposable paper plates, some reusable materials should be used. So this is the recommendation through this study. And if we look at the preferred mode of drinking material, so again, the plastic bottles are most commonly used for the drinking purposes. This practice we have also recommended through the study that it should be modified, and some reusable means of the drinking water should be used. We have suggested that at every place at the institute, water dispensers can be installed, and students can use their own refillable bottles to use for the drinking water purposes. So currently, the solid waste from the Institute of Business Management is collected with the help of the colored trash bins, which are placed at different locations inside the offices as well as at the outside of the each building facility of the institutions. So waste from small bins is shifted to the large bins once in a day. We have noted recently the use of color bins has significantly improved among the students and staff here. Waste collected from all the facilities is transported to the temporary waste storage point located outside the university. At this point, manual segregation of the waste is undertaken by the local vendors who separate various useful items from the waste streams, which mainly includes the plastic, metals, papers, and which is sold to the local market. And after that, only the organic component of the waste is left over, which is mainly used for the composting purposes. So here is the total quantity of the waste which is generated from the Institute of Business Management. So here we can see the total amount of the waste is 654 tons of the waste is generated. And if we see the economic analysis, here is the some calculations based on the local market rates. So according to this calculation, about 250,000 Pak rupees can be earned from the waste on the annual basis, and this money can be used for the various practices of the solid waste management, such as bins can be purchased, PPEs for the waste collection staffs can be purchased. There are so many things which can be used. So this is actually this calculation is based on the local market prices. Otherwise, this budget can be significantly increased if there is the proper storage of the waste material and segregated components. Instead of selling to the vendors, they can be stored separately and sold after a certain time. I mean, after 1 month, after 2 months, or 3 months, then the institute can get the better rates. So going towards the composting potential, about 500 kg of the good quality compost is produced from the organic waste, which is used for the horticultural purposes, and which is obviously saving the lot of amount which is to be used for the purchase of fertilizers from the market. So this is a brief about my presentation. Thank you very much. If I don't know you are able to hear me or not, because I
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Jamshid.
Yeah.
We still have a few minutes. We can now open for questions.
Yes. Please.
Let me see if we have received some here. Otherwise, I have one question. Just give me 1 second. Let me see from the chat. So while we wait for the other questions, I will take this opportunity. So in your presentation about what I was concerned is that you said there is no specific regulation for the universities. So here in Brazil, we have a national plan, and at the state and local levels, we also have some policy for waste management, and they are aiming at environmental and social specific norms. So in your case, if the university, let's say, decide for not doing, just sending this for the solid, for the landfill, how does it work? Is there a kind of institution that pushes the university for these clean technologies or reducing the waste generated? That was my question.
Okay, thank you. Actually, here in Pakistan, the environmental protection agencies are there to deal with the environmental things, environmental matters. But as I have told, as far as the solid waste is concerned, this is the solid waste management is the ultimate responsibility of the city municipal authorities of the respective cities where the institute is present. So in case of Karachi, the Karachi Municipal Authority is responsible for the waste collection. But again, there are no explicit environmental standards related to the solid waste management. So every institute is managing its solid waste by own, doing its own practices of solid waste collection, transportation, segregation, and final disposal. So there is no, uniform environmental standards which deal with the overall solid waste management at the higher education institutes.
I see. Do you think economic savings, financial savings, if they adopt these clean technologies and also reduction in the production of solid waste in the universities, do you think this is true, that they will reduce the expenses, and if this could be a way to push this transition for better management of solid waste? Just to explain why I'm asking you this, because in Brazil, for a long time, and most of the cities now, for example, like your case, the municipality collect the garbage at the universities, and sometimes there is no charge in this for collecting this waste and sending it for the landfill. But for example, in São Paulo city, as the university is quite big, and so she has to contract a service for collecting, and she pays for that. So in this case, all this reduction in generating solid waste, now if you have to pay for it, then it's a very good way for implementing all these solutions. How does it work in your case? Do you have to pay for this, or you just a disagreement with the municipality, they collect it and send it for landfill?
No, actually, currently, our university is not paying anything for the waste collection. What is going on? The overall waste is collected at some place outside the university, which is called as the interim dump site. You can say that interim storage. So at this place, the local vendors, which are not actually belonging to the municipalities, they are private vendors. But they segregate the waste by their own, and they take some part of the segregated waste like plastic, metals, and other things, and they pay some part of the money to the waste collection staff at the Institute of Business Management. Yeah. So currently this practice is going on. As far as the municipalities are concerned, they take only the organic waste for the final disposal to the dump sites. In our case, otherwise all the other materials like metals, plastic, etc., are segregated and they are sold out. So this is going on.
Oh, Beatriz, do we have questions?
I cannot see questions in the chat box.
Do you want to add something?
Thank you for this very interesting presentation. It is a great pleasure to hear experiences from so different parts of the world, as I could hear from you from Brazil, from Pakistan, and from the Netherlands. And also we have our way of waste management here in Hungary. So I think it is a great pleasure that we could hear so different ways of the solution of one common problem. May I also encourage other participants if they have some questions that they would like to raise, or any comments, or any experiences that you in your country have.
I have some experience in our university about the waste management. May I speak about it?
Can you try a little bit louder? Sorry, I think I'm not hearing you.
Can you hear loudly?
Yes, it's better now.
Okay. We organized a pilot to waste management in our university to collect the solid waste and produce the animal feed in our university. For example, we produced around 3 metric tons feed at 1 year ago. But after the COVID-19, we stopped the production of feed, and after that, we compact the solid waste in our university to reduce the fuel consumption to move the collected solid waste from our university to other place. And I have a question from Dr. Iqbal, who has some experiments about waste management in the university. We have a serious problem For example, as you know, the paper plates are laminated with some plastic film, which with some problem in reusing this paper because we cannot change the collected plate to the paste and reuse it in paper to producing the paper. May I ask him to share his experiment in this area with us in Iran? May I ask you to explain about it, Dr. Iqbal?
Thank you, Dr. Iman. Dr. Yamshait, I think.
Jamshid Iqbal. I think the correct pronunciation of his name is Jamshid, and his surname is Iqbal. Dr. Tao, do you have any experiments about the paper waste management in your country and in your university too? And other guys who have some experiments to reusing the paper plate and other solid management who have some experiments, it's welcome to share your experiments with us in University of Zanjan.
I could add one thing while we'll wait others to contribute, but in the case of the University of São Paulo, we have for the cafeterias, we have the main cafeteria that's managed by the university. So all the discardable materials are forbidden. So we have to use glass and durable plastic. So especially for water or other sodas and so on, in past, they were discardable. But now all students, when they enter the university, they receive a cup and they have to carry it all their course. So all the cafeterias can't use this material. For the small cafeterias that are, I would say, private, but they have concession to work inside the university, so normally they are very small, there are also certain rules when they operate. So they cannot use, for example, plates that are discardable, and they also have to reduce the amount of plastic discardable for water and so on. But this is a very small amount if they use, but when they have the concession, then there is a kind of a rule that they have to work with no discardable in this case. So that was nice because these reduced almost all the recyclable garbage, especially because they come contaminated with a grease or oil or something. So that's always hard also to recycle this kind of garbage.
As you see, it's a paper cup we use in our country, completely common in our university. It seems that it's reusable and it's a recyclable material in food sharing in the country and for food buying and using in our country. But as you see, there is a plastic laminate inside of the cup, and it makes serious problem to recycling this paper because we cannot solve this plastic laminate in any solvent. It's sometimes made from polypropylene or polyethylene, which are strong against any solvent. And we have the paper between two plastic laminated, which pays us to managing and reusing this cup. May I ask you, any guys who attend in this meeting, to share your experiment about managing this solid waste? Because at the first time when you see to this cup, it seems it's green material and it's very good materials in the food packaging and so any good. But after understanding this problem, we understood it's not good material to reducing the energy consumption in our country and reusing the material. So it's our serious question in waste management. So I attend this meeting to understand your experiment about this waste, the solid waste. Please explain about it if you have any information. Excuse me for consuming your time.
No, it's nice. Please, it's open. Who wants to share? I think it's nice, this exchange of experience. In our case, sorry, as we dropped all these discardable cups, so now we are on the cups that are durable, so we are avoiding at the source. But you are right about this. In the first moment, sometimes it looks a very good idea, but at the end, it's hard to recycle, or there are some other pressures on the environment.
We have another question too. I'm so sorry for speaking and continuing your time. We have a serious, however, we removed the polyacetylene-based foam from our university, but it's common in our country to using the polyacetylene-based foam to sharing the food in some party and so on. I think both of the idea is serious in recycling and reusing the waste management. I'm so sorry for consuming your time. I mute my microphone and listening to your experiment. Thank you.
Colleagues who want to share with him? Everybody's quiet today, isn't it?
In connection with this topic, a bit similar, at the University of Page, the plastic bottles are actually kind of forbidden to be used at different protocol programs. Okay, nowadays, unfortunately, we cannot organize that many programs, of course, due to the coronavirus. But before, we started this tendency that instead of the plastic bottles, we used glass bottles for mineral water. And also, all the students at the different campuses of the university are encouraged to refill their own bottles at different water fountains or where they can refill their bottles. So that's how the University of Page tries to decrease the amount of plastic bottles among their students and also employees.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. About the paper cups, we at our university, we used to use that a lot too, because, it seems like it is a sustainable option because it's made of paper and you can recycle paper, even though the plastic layer that it's inside, it really allows us to use it, to reuse it, but we end up banning all kinds of disposable materials for coffee breaks, in cafeterias as well. But that's only in the university. I mean, in the state, people keep using that kind of materials. Also, the university installed for the water bottles, we installed drinking fountains so the students can refill their bottles and everything. So we actually cut off the problem by banning the use of disposable, any kind of disposable materials in the university coffee breaks and in the cafeterias. So that's how we did it. We also use hard tableware, I don't know how to say it, but really cups and plates that you can wash and you can reuse over and over again. Obviously, because of COVID-19, we don't have coffee breaks anymore, but that's the way we did it. We banned all the disposable materials for use on coffee breaks. And so.
Can we ask which country or university is that?
Yeah, I'm from Mexico. It's the Autonomous University of San Luis Potosí. And we are, we're kind of starting all this process.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment.
Just adding, in the beginning here in University of São Paulo, we are also discussing this sometimes paper or durable cups. So what's it better? You spend more water, you spend more energy. So was all this discussion, but at the end, we also went on this direction of having durable cups, especially because I think it's a good message for the students that afterwards will go for professional careers, and then they can carry. I think the best way is really to avoid generating all these life cycle analysis. They are very interesting, but they are very hard, and they can change a lot from context to context. So in the beginning, I think from my point of view, the major message is really to avoid generating garbage. So even if you use paper cups, not those with a plastic inside, but only paper, at the end, they generate disposable garbage. So in a certain way, I think it's always better to use something durable, but something we decided, and I see that Beatriz also said the same, and our colleague from Mexico also. So I think it's a good approach. It's always hard, but that's good. Can we close it? I think it's nice, Beatriz. What do you think?
Yes, finally we had very nice comments and experiences. Thank you for sharing them with us. And thank you for our presenter. And also for the video. So we could finally watch that video as well. I think it was a really useful meeting. And I hope that tomorrow we can continue with other topics.
Thank you. Thank you for everybody. Thank you, Beatriz. Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you.